everyone, my name is Paulina and I have another reading for you today. I was listening a lot lately to this song, Fire on the Mountain by the Grateful Dead. I'm a bit of a Deadhead. And I see that as no coincidence. I think you may have been in a situation in your life within the past year or maybe now where you have been a passive observer of what is an increasingly negative or volatile situation, and you've, like, this could be in the past and you could have removed yourself now, but it's basically a song about a situation that's like getting so uncomfortable that but no one's listening, no one's watching really the signs or doing anything about it, and like it, it brings to mind a lot of things. Like, it also talks about Long Distance Runner and Mercury Rising. It's a pretty hippie song, and dragons lighting matches. If you can go there with me. The dragon lighting matches in your life is just like, you're not making changes that are like just like you're being called to make. And you may have stayed in an uncomfortable situation way too long, or there may have been cycles that were repeating in that situation that you were just like, eventually, or I hope if you're still in this that you're like, I'm out. But eventually you were like, this is not working the way it has been. And maybe you weren't seeing the signs, like the fire on the mountain, or, which I feel like is about someone sending smoke signals. But it's a really great song and it's really addictive. But I think that there's a situation that you need to, or you did, which you could still be dealing with the PTSD of this, like, see that it was increasingly destructive. It was either an environment or with multiple people, or just a relationship with someone, or maybe even just a job, or like even just a search for something that was like impossible. The song is also about just sort of like, I also drew this rune today, which is Laguz, I believe, and it's from the Germanic runes. It's about like water, and it's about or I think it means lake. It's about like sort of going with what is happening in life, going with the ebb and flow of the tide of what's happening, rather than going against it. And the song Fire on the Mountain is actually about it could also be read as transformative fire, that you've touched some fire that's transformed you, and now you must go and make the transition. It's about how we can't stay the same ever, really. Nothing stays gold, pony boy. That's from The Outsiders. Nothing gold can stay. Just read The Outsiders and you'll understand. Okay, or watch the movie. So this isn't going to be a super long reading. The first card is Page of Wands reversed. I feel like you've been like hesitant. You've been like sitting on something, but also you like kind of don't know what way to go. Like, you feel immature, but I don't think you're inexperienced. I think you're just feeling like not confident in your like path right now. Okay, and we got Wheel of Fortune reversed. Sorry, these cards are messed up. I feel like you you may just be like the Laguz rune. You may just be in a season that is like, you can't control the circumstances that you're in right now, and you don't want to fight against them, but trust that you're going to float down the river and things will change. Knight of Swords reversed. I feel like you have been a little, that's my card of hastiness when it's reversed. It's like, I feel like you may have been a little hasty to actually get out of this situation, but it's not a bad hasty. It's like, but you may have like had to make a transition. You may have been forced into this transition, and now you have that energy of like, I don't know where I'm going, I don't know what I'm doing, because the way the transition happened. Ooh. And then you got Six of Wands. So you're about to actually come into some public recognition here, because I think you've lost some fear of what people think because of what you've been through with this cycle. I don't know, it could have even just been like an abusive relationship that was like, okay, the fire's on the mountain, like I gotta get out of this, like I gotta leave, pack my bag and go, whatever it was. Negative job, search for greed, could have been toxic environment, dangerous environment, someone threatening you. It's about listening to that intuition and in increasingly heated situations, and then also just like letting that fire, like, you know, fire's used in pottery to make something hard, letting that fire transform and change us, not just burn us. And let me just tune in here before I pull a card. I feel like since we're in Pisces season, you may just feel confused right now, but it's actually nice to be confused sometimes. Have you ever been hiking? I go hiking a lot. Sometimes it's nice to get a little lost. You might get anxious at first, but I've gone on like the side trails before, and it could just be fun, you know, just like to get a little lost. I mean, it's not linear, our growth. So you may be in like a situation or a circumstance that like you have to just like sort of be like, this is the situation, make the best of what it is, and float towards better times, you know. And we got the Six of Wands again, which means just more public recognition for something that I feel like you're unafraid now. You may have been like hiding yourself or something, but this situation, maybe a trauma has like caused you to be like, I really don't care what people think. And that's making you change how you see yourself, how you see your life. This is the Six of Swords. It's about moving on, moving on from a situation that's no longer working. Six of Pentacles reversed. I feel like there was one-way charity here. Or you may be in a situation where there is one-way charity because of your circumstance, and it's like you feel bad, but it's like you're like, I don't know what else to do, you know. But I also feel like that one-way charity is sort of like, I'm just hearing like some little, I'm not gonna say what they are, I was thinking of some idioms, but like don't I feel like you may be like chained financially in some situation right now, actually, with that card. And don't like it's not don't rock the boat. Basically, I don't want you to discount that you can create things for yourself. Don't think this is gonna last forever. The Sun reversed. You may have had like a negative father influence recently, or like maybe your childhood was not so hot and you're like going through some old stuff from that, and it's like some real individuation. Maybe there was a long time of seeking, and even in relationships, seeking that a validation that you never got from the father through your relationship, even if it was a woman. Okay, the Star. You're called right now to just be in your spirituality, to be in your healing. I don't know what your situation is. I don't know if you're, you know, it doesn't really matter. If you're like in a high stress, like high power career, if you've just lost everything, maybe you're like sick with something in bed. I'm just thinking of all the situations of suffering. There's so many more. These are just a few. Maybe some betrayals happened to you. Maybe you're in a horrible like legal situation. Maybe you're homeless right now, you know. I don't know. Or maybe you have no money and you're on the street. Maybe you're like really struggling with your mental health. That's something that people just don't realize is a huge fire on the mountain thing. Like, hey, get that under control. But you know, I think that I want to get a final card about this suffering that I feel like feels like too much right now for whoever is watching. Okay, we got the sun upright, which means like more relaxed times above and ahead. And then we got like the Hanged Man. Yeah, you're just in a sort of a holding pattern and a waiting space right now. Think of it like a little mini purgatory. And think of other times when you were like in a holding space. And were there good things about that time? Like maybe you got some things done. Maybe you had some extra free time. I don't know. I want a final closing message for this. The moon. Yeah, I think there's like secrets that you're keeping from yourself about what you really desire to actually, this can be a card about the public. It can also be about intuition, the family, the mother, the childhood, and just maybe mystery or like secrets, deception. I think that with the way that this is illustrated, you need to do some self-reflection. Like what are you hiding from yourself? You know, what emotions or feelings are being hidden? Because, and not only that, like what is it that you are wanting to bring to the public that keeps coming up in this reading? It seems like something emotional, something maybe creative, maybe something about, the moon can also do with history and chronology, even just family history. You know, maybe you write a memoir, I don't know. It can also do with memory. Maybe something about your memory is something you're bringing to the public. Also, you know, just something from the past. Maybe there's something from the past that you were intuitively skilled at that you're now reconnecting with. Sorry, this is their final card. Four of Swords. You're in a resting time right now. And your healing is the first thing that, you know, just let go and let God, is what they say in Al-Anon. But I see that you're eager to change this rest period to a time of activity. But that will happen on its own, and just get as ready as you can for it to happen, and set up situations, you know, put out rockets of desire, as Abraham Hicks would say, of what you would like to happen. But just know that 10 of Cups, there is like beauty coming for you. There is a positive, this keeps coming up, just happy family life, happy family card. Bliss, joy, contentment, not just with the self, which is the 9 of Cups, but with a group. And also an ending of like the struggle, and higher communion with the self through that. I'm seeing an image of a mountain. I think that you've made your goals like this mountain, and right now you see that you're at the bottom. But I think that I'm being called to talk about people like Rockefeller or like Carnegie. People discount how many times, or even like Ford, they had to like rebuild their like fortunes. Or even just Donald Trump, who I'm not a fan of, but he's like lost and gained money a lot before he was the president. I'm saying you have to have the mindset that like sort of like win some, lose some, and you're just in like a low point right now. And I know I was talking about fire on the mountain, so it's like, of course I was seeing the mountain, but I was actually seeing an ice mountain, which is a different thing. I was seeing like a mountain in the Berkshires for some reason, which keeps coming up in my readings. I do love that area. Like, I think the contrast between the beginning of the reading, which was about a fire mountain, and the end where I am seeing an image of an ice mountain and snow mountain in winter, is that like you're going to realize that we don't control a lot about change. Time does. Because time will change our thinking, and time will change our chemistry in our brain, and time will change opportunities. Time will change everything. So I do believe time heals all wounds, but I also believe more than that, that love heals all wounds. So it feels like a vague reading, but I feel like the main thing is like, yeah, like if you've been burned, ice can feel good. If you've been cold, a hot room can feel good. So healing is really finding sort of the other thing that you've been wanting, that you haven't been getting. And I think that leaving this situation, you're gonna get that relief, you know, that physical, actually maybe physical relief. Maybe you've been like very stressed in this situation, and just if you've already left and you've been gone for a while, like good for you, and I'm proud of you, and this is just sort of residue of those feelings. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a great day.